And then what? It doesn't work to this day, not very much. You add more dimensions, and string theories and other theories suggest 11 or what. If Einstein was alive, he would say, God does not make the universe so complicated.
So, with no further ado, I would like to invite Roger for the next 3 minutes to tell us his thoughts on whether or not we should reject talk of higher dimensions as fantasy. Roger, what do you make of that?
We have to be clear about what we're talking about with dimensions, because an awful lot of mathematics and physics requires higher dimensions. For example, quantum mechanics requires talking about things in many, many dimensions, not just 3. But when we're talking about space is something special. And when we refer to fields in space-time or fields in physics, we are talking about fields which depend on 3 dimensions of space and then how they evolve at time. And that's where you need the 3 dimensions of space. When I first heard about string theory, for example, from Lenny Susskind, that was a long time ago, I was really quite excited about the idea because it seemed to indicate how you could remove some of the awful infinities that come into quantum field theory. And this because you replace the little world lines of particles, if you like, by little tubes. And the tubes represent these little strings, if you like. The history of a little ring makes a tube. And then the ways these things join up nice and smoothly, you get rid of all these horrible infinities. And so I was quite taken by this idea until I learned initially that it only worked in 26 dimensions. And to me, that was the end of it. Of course, they got it down to 10, and then they got it up to 11, and 10 and 11 and 26 all at the same time in a kind of hybrid theory, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. But the idea is that if you have a different number of dimensions than the 3, then it completely floods the rest of physics. The question is, how, when you're talking about freedom in a physical field, if you increase the number of spatial dimensions, that completely swamps anything you had before. And if you're talking about ordinary physics, with only 3 dimensions of space, then you have a certain functional freedom. If you increase that 3 to anything else bigger than that, you get a functional freedom which completely swamps everything else. And we don't see that. People often say that to excite these extra dimensions, you need an awful lot of energy. But the trouble is that this increase in energy is trivial for the whole universe, because it's 1 million times the energy in CERN. It's spread out over the whole universe. It's nothing. So these dimensions would get excited. You couldn't stop them. And so there's no real explanation of why you don't get swamped by all the physics of these extra dimensions if they were there. If the spatial dimensions were there, then you wouldn't just have functions of 3 variables, which all theories that we have in physics, electromagnetism, gravity, whatever you have, they depend on functions of 2 variables. The time dimension sort of evolves until we're only counting the 3 space dimensions. And if you had a theory with more than that, and that's supposed to represent something in the real world, the freedom in that theory would completely swamp everything else. It's not like adding an extra few parameters like that. The functional freedom, if you increase the number of dimensions of your space from 3 to something bigger, it would completely swamp all the rest of physics. So I just don't think it makes any sense at all. And I have no idea why these theories seem to be still studied to some degree. I think less than they were. I think the theory, what's called ADS-CFT theory, is probably still floundering around, but doesn't really explain why you don't get all these swamps. Swamped out by all these extra degrees of freedom.
Thank you for that, Roger. Swamped out, too many dimensions. Claudia, how do you think about this? Should we be rejecting this talk of extra dimensions?
Well, I think it's very, very dangerous to reject a question in itself. If we have a question, and I think the fact that we are able to ask even ourselves the questions, could there be dimensions out there? Could there be other dimensions? Even if we can't answer it, we should never throw away a question. It's something too precious in itself. maybe we can rephrase it slightly and we can see how much we can use it, how much we can use those extra dimensions as that concept, maybe mathematically even, to better understand the world we're in, whether it's mathematically purely or physically. But the fact that we can ask ourselves the questions, could there be extra dimensions out there, independently of string theory, is itself something too interesting to reject. Even if the answer is, no, there can't be other extra dimensions out there, you need to open up the possibility in the first place, explore what the outcomes would be, so that you can better understand why there would be or wouldn't be extra dimensions out there. So it is possible that there's a deep reason as to why we live in three-dimensional space plus one dimension of time. But we need to, this is the big question, why? Why? In principle, no one said there shouldn't be other dimensions out there, and there probably wouldn't be. But then we need to explain that. Stating that we only live in 3 plus 1 dimension is not science, it's just it's a fact, but it doesn't tell us, it doesn't explain anything. Now, in string theory, it's true that you do need to postulate the existence of extra dimensions, and it could be that those extra dimensions are confined and compactified in such small spaces themselves that they will never be observable within the tools at our disposal at the moment, and maybe not in the next thousands of years. But again, that doesn't tell us that we should throw necessarily all of this away. Maybe we should find different ways to understand whether string theory and the need for those extra dimensions are connected to reality or not, and understanding whether this underlying theory is making sense and has some implications would allow us then to understand whether or not extra dimensions are there. For me, actually, I'm not wedded to string theory or not. I'm not wedded to extra dimension or not. They could be or not there. I think they are a framework that we should embrace again, because they allow us to better understand what is going on. And I have experienced that. I have experienced understanding gravity and extra dimensions, not for the sake of extra dimensions, but for the sake of opening up possibilities which would have been beyond the realm of what we thought was achievable, accessible in our thought process. And going through that thought process in extra dimensions then allow us to then repack that in a 3 plus 1 dimensional world in a way which we never would have had necessarily the way to even express ourselves in a 3 plus 1 dimensional language. So we should never focus ourselves in a particular way of thinking. We have to open up to extra dimensions as well.
Fantastic. Avshalom? Oh, all right, we got some support in the room. I like this. Avshalom, what do you think? We're rejecting our fantasies, or?
I can understand the appeal of another dimension. We recall the great success that Einstein had with the special and general theory of relativity. It is an idea he took from his mentor, Minkowski, first reluctantly, but then he embraced it, that we should regard time as a dimension. And it had a tremendous success. Several paradoxes in special relativity you can solve once you think about the universe as a kind of block universe, 4 dimensions, in which, just as different places exist at the same time, the UK and Japan and Ecuador, they all exist, although we are only now in Wales. People tend to think that past, present, and future similarly coexist a long time. And then, because of the great success of relativity theory, people said, well, if we have 4 dimensions, why not have 5, 6? The beginning with Kaluza and Klein was very promising. And then what? It doesn't work to this day, not very much. You add more dimensions, and string theories and other theories suggest 11 or what. If Einstein was alive, he would say, God does not make the universe so complicated. And I think that there is something, but in this respect, I'm in a minority view. I think that there is something in physics, inherent to physical reality, which is beyond dimensions. There is something in time which goes beyond its geometrical description. Here, people ask somebody outside, the gardener who is not a physicist, what they think about time, and they will tell you time is passing, time is moving. I've been at bed tonight. In the morning, I'm now working. I'm going to be having dinner later. So time is moving. There is something called the now, which moves from the past through the present to the future. What does the physicists tell you? There is no such a thing. They want us to believe, most of the physicists, that past, present, and future coexist. I don't know how many of you are aware of this sad story of Einstein, whose best friend, Michele Besso, used to argue with him all his life about time. He said, Einstein, something is missing about in our picture of time. And Einstein yelled at him, you helped me, you yourself helped me with special relativity and general relativity. You know how strong they are. Why do you need this idea of moving now? And then a few years have passed. Sorry, I should say, Einstein would say that it looked like a few years have passed because he didn't believe the time is moving. And something happened which makes you realize the time is passing. He got a letter from Michele Besso's son. My father is dead. And Einstein wrote the following condolence letter. Michele has preceded me a little in leaving this world. Einstein would die after 4 weeks later after writing this condolence letter. He said, he left this strange world before me. That doesn't matter. For us convinced physicists, the distinction between past, present, and future is only an illusion. Promise me that you will never give such condolence to somebody who lost a dear one. It doesn't work. But now I'm talking about physics and I'm talking about quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics tells us that there is something more fundamental even than space-time. So there may be more dimensions, extra dimensions, perhaps many, I hope not, but there could be many. But there is something much more fundamental. I think that the interaction between quanta is more basic, and space and time emerge from it, and other dimensions, to the extent that they exist, they emerge from it. It has something to do with what Sir Roger asked some 30 years ago. I'm sure that he does not remember, but I'm going to have the pleasure of doing a closure with him and reminding this question that he asked many years ago when I have the chance.
Fantastic. Well, actually, Roger, I'd like to turn to you to ask you if you could tell us about what evidence we actually do have for there being more than 4 dimensions. And could we, in principle, have that evidence if we don't have it?
We're talking about space, you see. I mean, as I said before, there are many theories which use many, many more dimensions than before. I mean, in quantum theory, as Elitzur's just brought up, we have theories where we use higher dimensions all the time in the theories, but they're just not the idea of space. I mean, space and time come together, and also, as we just heard, Einstein's theory, Minkowski originally, and then Einstein somewhat reluctantly, but he depended on Minkowski, which introduces 4-dimensional geometry. Sure, that's 4-dimensional geometry. It's a very useful way of looking at space-time together as a 4-dimensional structure. And it's lovely. I very much approve of that idea. But when you're talking about fields in this thing, we're talking about functions of 3 variables. The time tells you how these fields evolve. And the freedom in your fields that you're talking about is simply functions of 3 variables. If you had a theory in which your fields involve more than 3 variables, then they would completely swamp everything else. The functional freedom has this enormous size, if you like, which once you add an extra dimension in your space, it would swamp everything else. So I'm not saying you can't have a theory like that, but you have to have a theory in which, for some reason, all these extra degrees of freedom are multiplied. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's not that the whole idea of extra dimensions doesn't make sense. I don't agree with that, because extra dimensions do make sense, and you have theories. You use many, many dimensions in quantum theory. You use Hilbert spaces, which involve many, many more than 3 or 4 dimensions. But they're not space dimensions. And the functionality, the freedom in your functions, is not driven by. I mean, it's a different thing. The way you look at space demands that you would get a different theory altogether. You could have more than 3 dimensions. that it wouldn't look like the universe we have. The extra dimensions with functional freedom in these extra spheres, if you put it swamped together.
So just to be clear, you're saying, well, in principle, it could be the case that there are these other dimensions, but we missed whether or not you said you think that there is in fact evidence of there being more than 4. Do you think that there is evidence for there being more than 4 dimensions?
Depends what you mean. You see, I'm talking about space, particularly. Theories in physics involve the study of spaces with many more dimensions than 4. In quantum mechanics, you have these things called Hilbert spaces, and these Hilbert spaces can be huge numbers of dimensions. They can be infinite dimensional. So it's not saying that extra dimensions don't play a role in physics. They do. However, they're playing a different kind of role. And the role that space plays in physics is very special. And you're talking about fields, which are functions of 3 dimensions of space. It's not even the 4th dimension. The 4th dimension is determined by the equations that your fields depend upon. So it would be a different kind of theory. I'm not saying you can't have theories with higher dimensions than 3 or 4. It's just that the way that space comes into these dimensions, we're talking about space in the way that we need space. The trouble is also that things like string theory, they require the tiny, sometimes they say the dimensions are so small. You have these little knots, which are tiny, tiny little strings, and to excite those extra dimensions, you need an awful lot of energy. And they say the amount of energy you need to excite those extra dimensions is so large that you would never see them except with some accelerator, which is 1 million times more powerful than the CERN accelerator or something like that. But the argument seems to me is quite wrong, because these extra energy that we need is for the whole universe. And there is even that much energy in the whole universe. I think the problem is that you have to look into these theories. If they're talking about space in the sense that we normally talk about space, then you'd be in trouble if you want to have more dimensions than 3. I'm not saying that you can't think about it or something like that. You can. But the trouble is that they just don't make sense, in a sense that the functions of these extra dimensions swamp everything else, and we don't see these swamping everything else.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're open to thinking about it. Claudia, you were sort of arguing for that. I mean, do we have any evidence for there being anything more than 4 dimensions?
We have no evidence for having been more than 4 dimensions. But before we go to the evidence, maybe it's useful to understand how we would look for evidence, and that will depend a little bit on those extra dimensions. There's different ways we can think of extra dimension. And
to continue watching this video, click the link in the top left or in the description below.
With a free trial, you can enjoy the full talk and thousands more.
Thank you for being part of the conversation.